Hi, my name is John, doing a video for BikeBible, and today's video is going to be about how to master rollers. So, indoor training, you've got two choices. You've either got turbo trainers, which basically fix the back wheel onto a device, or connect your back wheel to a device where you can change the resistance on it and stay fairly stable on your bike, or can be quite useful in setting up to PCs with smart trainers. Like you can use Swift, for example, or any other device, any other apps and programs where you can race against either yourself on a screen, seeing on-screen telemetry that covers your cadence perfectly on screen, your speed, and also it means that you can test yourself against either yourself in previous rides or indeed people across the other side of the world or in your hometown or anything else, all within your home. But setting up with turbo trainers can be a bit of a hassle, because a lot of the smart trainers require you to take your back wheel off so that you can connect them to the device itself, or you have to connect your back wheel in somehow to the turbo trainer itself. The other option that you have is rollers, and rollers are a lot more straightforward to set up. It's just literally a case of putting your bike onto the rollers themselves, and away you go. It's a lot easier to store, I reckon, as well, and it also improves your bike balance skills as well. But for people who are new to rollers who haven't quite mastered them just yet, they can be a bit of a challenge to get used to. You can scour YouTube for countless videos of people attempting rollers and falling off, because they can be quite tricky to get used to. But with my video today, I'm going to show you the best ways of basically learning rollers and coping with them as well. Apologies for the awkward angle, but I feel like this is probably the best way to visualize this whole thing. So I'm going to first off set up my rollers. Make sure that there's no moisture at all on the device. The last thing you need when you're on this is to have any sort of residue on there. Yeah, there we go. So we want to get as much of the moisture off it as possible, if not all of it. There you go, that's all the moisture off them. So next up now, what I want to state is, if you're riding your bike, if you're riding a carbon frame bike, please be aware that you may invalidate the warranty for that frame if anything was to happen on there. It's always ideal to use aluminium or steel type bikes when you're doing all this. What I'm going to do now is set it up. I've got mine away from I've got a solid surface here that I'm going to be holding on to, and ideally what I want to do is have it set up around about roughly a foot away from the actual bench. The rollers set up a foot away from the bench. And what I will do is I'm going to set it up. The rollers are set up parallel to the bench. I'm going to set it up so the front wheel is ahead of the front roller, and the back wheels are ahead, of course, from the rear rollers as well. And what we'll do is we'll get over the bike, and what we want to do is we're going to push the bike backwards onto the rollers, like so. What we'll do now is we'll start with our opposite foot into the pedals, and what we're going to do is, holding the side here, we're going to push ourselves up and onto the bike. There we go. And now we're on. We're on the heavy gear at the moment, so move into comfy gear to begin with. There you go, and 3 gears from the end now. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to hold onto the side, and for the first minute or so I'm going to get used to just pedaling like this. And it's always ideal to be looking around about 4-5 meters ahead of where your front wheel is. If you're looking directly down, you move too much thinking that you need to correct yourself. You want your body to do the corrections by feel, not by looks. Any sort of movements that you do on a set of rollers needs to be as minimal as possible. No sharp movements, either with your steering or with your body. So we're going to do this for another 15 seconds, and then we're going to go to the next stage afterwards once you feel. But you do this stage for as long as you feel like you need to. There's no right or wrong way. Some people do this learning in a doorway. However, I found this method to be quite troublesome. To be honest, I didn't like the idea of using my shoulders on either end of the door frame in order to keep me up. So I learned by this way instead. So what you want to do when you get used to this gear and you feel comfortable pedaling like this, what you want to do is go into a more higher gear. So I'm going to go down by around about 2. Don't worry, that's just the belt. What we'll do now we're feeling comfortable, we want to keep thinking that we need to look around about 4 to 5 foot ahead of where our front wheel is. When you're learning all this, your hoods are going to be your best position for starting out in, and you want to keep looking ahead of your bike and just getting used to just feeling the bike on there. You don't want to a lot of rollers do have parts that like flare up on the end, so if you start going too close to them, you quickly but gently correct yourself, and your peripheral vision will actually pick out where you're on the rollers as well. So what you can do afterwards, once you start getting used to this sort of momentum, start playing around with holding different parts on the bike as well. So what I'm going to be doing is I'm holding the tops of my bars, not my hoods. I'm going to swap my hands to there, and this position's fairly comfortable if you need to take a breather, but it's always best to get used to the hoods, and then after a bit, just like try experimenting with different positions. You don't really need to use the drops on your bars unless you want to emulate perfectly how to sprint, let's say. So if I was to go down to my drops, what I'll tend to do is I'll go from my top of my bars, and having the palm of my hand resting on the bar itself, I'm going to pivot it up and around to the hoods. And then if I want to go onto the drops, and what I'll do is I'll do one hand first, quickly followed by the other one. And that way now we're ready to emulate sprinting. Like so. But don't go too low when you want to try and emulate this. You just want to make sure that you're still comfortable on the bike itself. So we're going to go back into the lower gear again. There we go. And then we're going to just go back onto the hut again. Now, if I had a bottle of water on the side, I'd set it up close to where my bars are. To have a drink of water, I'd have my hands back firmly on the top, and I'd go and grab it like on the side here, like that, and then back down. But in all fairness, once you get used to riding one hand like that, it's easier over time to get used to actually picking it up, having a swig, putting it back down. There you go. Little speed wobble there. But you see what I was saying before, if you've got rollers with flares on them, you quickly sort yourself out on them. And I would say try and just practice like this with your hand on the side, crucially, if you're getting used to them, for around about 5 to 10 minutes, and then you can go off from there. I'm going to stop now and just talk you through the rest of everything now. But first off, I'll show you how to dismount. I'm out of breath. But yeah, speaking, if I'm coming off now, what I'll do, have the foot that you want to keep on last facing all the way downwards, click out, hold on to the side, and you want to put it down to the side, like so, side of the rollers, not inside, and then you'd want to push your bike forwards, like so, and then click out. Hopefully you've learned something useful from this video. If you have any other strong tips on how to get used to the rollers, please feel free to comment down below. If you do like the videos that we've been pushing out up to now, please go and subscribe to us as well, and hopefully we'll catch you for future videos as well.